Let's get dangerous.
And yeah, we were getting a little bit too dangerously close to the beginning of the show with our discussion here on something that we're going to talk about on the show as of right now, because it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing. You go ahead and enjoy it. But welcome to Comic Book Spectrum. We're back for another Thursday here. So we got the whole gang, and Cliff is still now he's unmuted.
Yes, we're here.
What's wrong?
I have much better things to talk about than I did last time I was on here.
Okay.
Well, that's a plus.
I'll make it quick.
There's no making it. I mean, mine's not going to be long. I'm just letting you know. If you weren't a fan of me going off about Lobo and Scotty Young, you'll like this better.
No, sometimes we need that release.
Yeah, we don't have to agree on everything. And I've gotten passionate about stuff. I've gotten very passionate about stuff. I'm not apologetic.
I told my LCS to burn all the copies of Lobo he had and mail the ashes back to DC.
Okie dokie. I've not been that passionate, but hey, I threw away all of my Sandman books, including my digital ones. I finally found out how I could delete the digital ones off Kindle. So that's all gone.
Well, you're a better human than I am, because I have the absolutes, and after what I paid for those absolutes, I ain't going nowhere.
I had the anniversary editions.
Yeah.
So, but
yes, I thought the absolutes looked really nice on my shelf, and they were a lot cheaper than trying to get the whole series and individual issues. But still, people were very proud of those absolutes, and I'm not getting rid of them. So.
Oh well. I just, what we all have to do how we feel most affects us, and as someone who has been a victim of that, it was just for me the better thing, the choice to make. And
I totally understand.
But I'm not saying everybody should throw away their copies. It's like no.
I know I'm as much as it saddens me, I'm not supporting anything else he does, but I love Sandman. I will pinch my nose when I think about him and read it, but I can't do that.
Courtney and I watched Good Omens, and it's just a movie. The season finale is a 2-hour movie, but it keeping with whoever they got to replace him in the writing. Kept the quality of the writing, and I will say, as I said last week in my review, I got the ending that I wanted, just not in the way I expected it. But it was, Courtney and I had a lot of fun. We sat up and we ate chips and dip and drank fizzy lemonade and cackled, and how like a couple of banshees and the men in the house were looking at us like, we can defend ourselves. So, a good time was had.
Yeah, and Good Omens was one of those. It was one of those shows that once the the eldest lost interest, we kind of quit watching it because it was kind of like something we did with her. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, this week I watched Tron Ares.
I finally have somebody that have watched it, so I can talk about it in depth, and that's what you caught us in the middle of.
Yeah, we were kind of discussing it. I am also starting on. I got this as a present for myself because my mom gave me some Mother's Day money. I got myself The Hobbit. This is the graphic novel version. I saw this originally, 20 years ago. And we were at a bookstore in Navy Pier, and it was the hardcover edition, which was much bigger. Um, but I wanted to get it then, and I didn't have the $24 or whatever that it cost at the time because I was taking the kids out, and it's like, oh well, if I spend this money, I actually think it was more than that because it was a big book. If I spend this money on this book, then they're gonna kill me because then I got nothing to spend on us in there. So I didn't get it. So when that came up on Amazon, and I actually had a few bucks, and it came up for like 20 something dollars on Amazon. It's like, oh, I can get that, baby. So yes, me got my precious. So I've got it. And I've only just started it, but for you parents up there, I know a lot of people find Tolkien daunting as a read. The graphic novel version is the story. It's just, it's kind of like, we've talked about this, the classic illustrated books. It's kind of like the classic illustrated version of The Hobbit. So it is done in a comic book format. And so you've got the main beats of the story. It's not giving you every little bit of minutia, but it's covering all the main beats of the story, and it's really nicely drawn. Hold on. I do love the artwork. It is
Okay, give me
very
give
nice.
me more
Okay.
of a heads up for I can put you
Sorry.
on big screen.
It is very nicely done. As you can see, them is spiders. Them is evil big spiders. But they have the artist and I
Interesting
think
panel page there.
David Wenzel. Yeah, he did. David Wenzel is the artist, and he put some serious work. He, like I said, I saw this about 20 or so years ago after the first movie came out. The Fellowship came out. That I saw that. If you're a parent and you want to get your kid, little girl, little boy, I would say about 8 or 9. Don't go much younger than that because there are some things, as well as nicely as they're drawn, those spiders can be spooky. Smog, is Smog, and well, we won't go into Gollum. He's got his own, he's got his own issues, but if you want to help your child get a little help them improve their reading, and it's something you can either give it to the child to read on their own, and then they can ask you questions, or you can read it with them. Let them read all the Bilbo parts, and you Gandalf and then Thorin and whatnot, so it makes it more interactive, and that way you don't get lost. And like I said, this is a lot smaller than the book. The book is pretty weightful, just as the other ones are. But the language is a bit more accessible in The Hobbit because The Hobbit was actually written for kids. And yes, kids back then were a lot, 9-year-olds back then, especially in Britain, were a lot more well read by, a lot of British standards. The well-educated 9-year-old had gotten at least a couple of Duma under, his belt. But it is a fun, I've always loved it. I've always thought it was a fun read. And I didn't have a copy of The Hobbit. So it was like I needed a copy of The Hobbit. And I originally bought it from my youngest. And he was like, he's not as big a Hobbit fan. It's like, well, that's okay. That means it's mine now. and it is, you know. But yeah, I think I the right child will enjoy this. And if you know your child, don't buy them a book that they're not, don't put money into a book that they're not going to want to read. It'd be cheaper. I think you can get the Kindle version of this, but you can order it off Amazon, and you can go to Barnes and Nobles if they don't have it in stock. They could order, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million. It's a printed book. It's not printed by Amazon, which is why it's good. But they can order it for you, and then you can pick it up. Some comic book stores, if you know the owner of your local comic book shop, might be kind enough to order you a copy as well. You never know. And that's what I have to say. You want to get into Tron Ares now?
Oh yeah, we could again. There's finer things that you and I have to talk about in that movie, because before the show, what Cliff came on, we was talking about the character Athena in the third movie.
Okay, now wait before y'all get too deep into this.
Mm-hmm.
You have not seen it yet.
I'm not going to see it, so that's fine. But where does it fall in the greater overarching Tron timeline?
Okay.
Because
this is
there
where
was
I'm
a
about to lay down.
So that's how let's start from the very beginning.
I'm gonna lay it down. Okay. First of all, it was better than I expected. I thought I was going to sit there and be very angry and bored. The second movie was a bit of a disappointment. So I thought this is going to be a bit of a disappointment, but I needed something that I could do a review of. And it's like, you know what? Let me watch Ares and see. And like I said, it was better than I expected it to be. That being said, it's not a perfect film. It is. But I'm not a huge Jared Leto fan, but I actually enjoyed him as Ares. I thought he did well. And Ares is a program, and we meet Ares at the beginning of the film when he's been
You missed
created.
a whole bunch of parts.
I'm trying to give an overview.
If you're going to start from the beginning, let's start from the beginning.
I was trying to give an overview. Anyway, there are three main worlds in the world of
You
Tron
still
Ares.
not started from the beginning.
Do this.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do it. Then I'm
Wait.
going to clean up the stuff that you missed here.
Wait, before we go into Three Worlds and all this, there was the original Tron movie.
That is correct.
One that they should have just done one movie and let it alone, because everything doesn't need a sequel. Then there was a reboot movie, right?
No, it was a sequel.
It was supposed to be a sequel.
It was a sequel called Tron Legacy.
Yes.
Okay, so that was
and
a sequel
they
where
have
everyone was geriatric.
They
no.
retconned it.
Okay.
They have retconned
Parts of it got retconned. Parts of it got retconned in Ares.
Yeah.
So this third
one, in many ways, if you were looking for a better sequel to Tron,
Ares would be the better.
Ares would be it. Ares
but
would
technically
be
this
it.
is
This is
technically this is
number
the third movie in the saga. Technically, it's the third movie.
And we're saying
But the third movie has more of a direct connection with the first one than the second.
In fact, the third movie does better at connecting the audience of this generation's Tron to the original Tron. It addresses it better, and it makes more sense. Now, to go back, what has happened is Flynn, as far as the human world, because there are three worlds in this picture, and I will get to them in a minute. Flynn, as far as the human world is concerned, has disappeared. He has retired from his company.
The Sun, that is.
Yes. The company has not dissolved.
Income.
Two sisters, two lovely young Asian women, have taken the company, and they've done well with it. Each sister has focused on a different thing. one sister was focusing on societal needs, how to deal with hunger, housing needs, the environment, etc. The other sister was taking the games that the original Flynn had created and making them better. She reintroduced the games. They made big, they made big money. The other sister dies.
Okay,
This
pause for a second. Flynn was Jeff Bridges, right?
the original Flynn is Jeff
Kevin
Bridges.
Flynn is Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Bruce Bottleitner.
Was Tron.
No. Was he Tron?
Yes,
Yes, he was
he
Tron.
played Tron and
he was
Alan,
a
or AKA
program.
Alan One. So
Yeah,
I stay up my mouth because I'm trying to let you explain.
Bruce Bottleitner was a human who then gets pulled. He's a program. Flynn gets pulled into that digital world. Bottleitner is a program who fights for the users. Anyway.
And everybody from my generation tried to use frisbees as a weapon after that. So.
Something like that. Yes. This is why people
The
are using
identity
frisbees.
disc.
The identity disc. And they come into this story, but they're a little different. These are identity discs with attitude. Anyway, something that Flynn, that a whisper, something that Flynn had left behind was called the permanence code.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that these sisters have learned, and Dillinger Systems, which is their chief competition, is that you can bring things from your digital world. You can create it like 3D printing and make them into a living being, whether that be a tree or something humanoid. The only thing is they don't live past 29 minutes. And when we see Ares, he is, we see him first as he's been created and he's been trained, because he's been trained to become system control. He is the top dog of the system, though the guy who runs Dillinger has made himself like, I'm your creator, as if to say, hey there, I'm God. He's the worst God ever. I just don't know how to tell you. This guy, he needs that permanence code, because we start out with them printing out Ares. In fact, the trailer is, he gives this talk. They print out Ares and he's presenting Ares to the investors and the board. And he's talking about, he doesn't eat, he doesn't drink, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't bleed. And if by some chance he gets destroyed, I'll just make you a new one. In other words, he's disposable. We can always just make a new one if this one is lost. And he presents him as a warrior. He presents him, in other words, you don't need humans to go in the war anymore. We just send one of these guys out and they'll just wipe out all your enemy. And that'll be it. He does this presentation. They're all like, ooh, and they leave. A few minutes after they leave, Ares' physical form dissolves or falls apart, however you want to describe it, because they can't, their life within the physical world is 29 minutes and so many seconds. They can't get above that.
Okay, so they can take a program and print a person that can do whatever it's programmed to do and commanded to do for around 30 minutes, and then it melts.
And
right?
then
Again, she's actually missing parts.
No. Is there a Tinder extension?
I can tell you every single thing, but then what's the use of someone watching a movie if I give every single thing about it? There's no surprises. You need to tell about the movie and get leaks some stuff that they can be surprised by.
This sounds like the best dating app ever. Can we hook this to Tinder? Is what I want to know.
You are a married man.
Exactly.
You're the one that's thinking that's a good dating app.
Yeah, like it's a good day. 29 minutes. It's like, you know what? What happens if you get caught? That could be that 29 minutes of bliss could be 29 minutes of hell.
Because
No, I'm just looking at it in 29 minutes. I can do what I need to 7 times and she can still make dinner.
Damn. That's a good thing, Cliff. Okay, I'm not going. We're not going there. We're not going there. But
She cracked her up. Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. I'm not going to lie. That is the truth. It's like do what you got to do 7 times, and then still have enough time to make that pork chop sandwich dinner.
Anyway, that is the fault in the system that both of these companies are trying to solve. They both know that it is rumored that Flynn created the permanence code, and both are looking for it. The sister that survived goes way out in Antarctica or something in a lab because she has to set up. Yep. They done broke me, girl. They done broke me. Anyway, she's got this lab out in Antarctica or something way at the top of the world because she's got to be able to find what she needs to find without anybody finding her. So she has to come off the main power grid from their signature. She can't do it from her office, so they have to have this other place where they do it. She finds it. And she knows she's got it because they print out a tree and it stays. It doesn't fall apart. It stays. And they realize we got the code. Unfortunately, the competition realizes she's got the code too. And they want the code. And this guy, and I will say props to Gillian Anderson, who plays his mother, because she's that right. She's sort of moral, and she brings that sort of moral weight to that side of the argument. Because this guy, we see that he is willing to do whatever it takes to get this code, so he can get these contracts and make this money. The mother is trying to talk sense into him. This was a bad idea. You don't have this code. When they realize you really can't deliver, we're going to get screwed. She's trying to give him a better sense. He doesn't care. He just wants that end result. He wants the glory. He wants the money. He wants to beat his competition. And if it means getting into some skullduggery, he's happy to do that. Even if it means there will be loss of life, he doesn't care. So long as he gets what he wants. There's only one moment, and we're not going to give away exactly what that moment is, because then there's no need for anybody to watch this, and that's not fair. There is a moment where he learns, at least for a moment, that karma's a bitch and she will come at your ass if you don't straighten up and play and fly right. But that lesson does not last with him very long. But in order to get what he wants, he utilizes Ares. Ares, however, Ares is like Tron in the point of he has made certain mental and emotional steps beyond his basic programming. When the guy is sitting there showing him off and talking about him as if he wasn't even in the room, or he is just irrelevant. He's listening. He's paying attention. You see it on his. Jared Leto does a great job because you see it on his face. He makes these micro. He does these little micro expressions. So and the camera moves on him so that you see this guy making the bigger pitch, and he's insulting to everyone. That's the whole thing. He doesn't think of anybody as important other than the money that they can bring him. He's insulting to everyone, but he is very disregarding of Ares. And Ares is standing there listening, and he's paying attention. So when he
what was he paying attention to?
He's paying attention to the way he's being talked about, to the way he's being addressed, the way this guy is referring to him.
It was more than just that.
I can simply, if by some reason he gets destroyed, I'll just make you a new one. And also for them, when that time goes up, it's not a blip. You can see it's a painful process for them. When they have to go from our world back into their world, that process of that physical form falling apart and then they're reassociated in the digital world. It is painful for them. You see it, the way they're like gasping and their movements. The first couple of seconds, it's painful. It's as if you dropped the building on them and then somehow they survived it. It is not a comfortable thing. It's not like bloop, bloop. It is painful and it is jarring. And you see it on Leto. You see it on the others, but you really see it on him. And he begins to get this idea that maybe my programmer, the guy telling me he's my creator, my God, ain't exactly what I need to be thinking. Maybe I should not be following him the way he thinks I should. So when he is sent out to find this woman, they are told, find her, bring her, digitize her, bring her into the digital world, which they do. They find her, they get her, bring her into the digital world, and they used the original Tron cycles to do it. It was so cool. They killed a bunch of police cars, but they had the Tron light cycles and they worked in the real world.
It was nothing. It was nothing in the modern world that could stand up to the technology that they brought from the computer.
Yeah, it was like, you know what?
You remember how the walls of the light cycles was destroying other light cycles?
It was so wonderful.
Those walls that the light cycles make were slicing.
It sliced the police car in half.
Vehicles in half.
Poof. Luckily,
they just ran straight through them and just cut them in half. And what made it worse is towards the end of the movie where they started bringing the heavy artillery.
Oh,
they were destroying cities. Oh, it was nothing that they could do. They was like literally like, okay, we want the girl. We want the girl. We're about to bring it everything and then some. There's nothing that the modern world can do to fight it.
But
they even brought the old what was that, the space paranoid vehicle, the one that Laney liked when Flynn was trying to pilot one with the bit talking about no.
He got ahead of it though. They go and they get him. They bring her back. He then is told that they have to take because she has the information. She has seen it. She may not remember it, but it's embedded in her brain. And they're like, and in order to get it, they basically have to dissolve her digitally.
Derez.
They have to de-resolute her, which means she will die in their world and the human world. It would be as if she will no longer exist. It won't wipe memory of her from people and her digital footprint.
But she would just be a missing person. It would just be a missing person file that nobody can resolve.
Ares realized that this, because he goes and he says, if we do this, it'll kill her. And the guy's like, and that's when Ares realizes, because he's been dying. He
Well,
knows the pain of dying, and he knows that she will not resurrect. She dies here, she's dead. There is no resurrection for her.
well, well.
And
What? We forgot the other thing that he did before he asked Dillinger that question.
when he goes and he tells what's her name, no, that's after he asks her what he tells Athena.
No, he did his own research on her.
Yes, he'd been watching her
He went through the files and found everything about her before he asked Dillinger.
before, and I loved it because we then see her backstory. We see her and her sister. We see them growing up. We see them taking the company when Flynn leaves. We see them inheriting the company, and we see them making it grow. And we see the one sister who's more concerned about we need to do what we can to make the world better. And we see the other sister who's more the tech head. She's more into the gaming and the programs and stuff. But when her sister dies, it's like the humanity. Her sister represented her humanity. And she decides she wants, and she's trying to do this. This is her way of honoring her sister's dream and vision. And so this means something to her. Ares learns by watching her because he's learned how to fight and all this stuff from stuff that they send people, they send things to attack him and stuff, and he gets better and better. And we see him just getting where he's top of the game. And now he's learning what life is and that life matters. And through these sisters, and that he learns death by watching, he gets to learn death through her. This isn't like you get to come back. She dies. Hey, Tot. She dies. There's no return. And he gets to see her. He gets to see her grieving, and he starts to feel something. And he realizes this is wrong. And he then asks him, and the guy is just like, she dies, big deal. And that's when he makes the decision of, this is not acceptable. And he tells his second in command, Athena, he lies to her because he's like, oh, we just need to question. We've been told we need to, we're gonna question her and whatnot. Athena then gets like, okay, something about your response isn't Ares enough because she's paid enough attention to realize something about you has changed. And then she goes behind Ares to their creator.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and
not in those exact
Ares,
words, but yeah.
Ares now has to get her out, which he does. He does successfully get her out. But the thing is she can't get him out because now once Dillinger knows that Ares has turned against him, the new order is kill her and destroy him. They then send Ares. She figures out how to get Ares into Flynn's world. So now we have three worlds. We have the human reality. We have the reality of the Dillinger digital realm. And then we have the reality of Flynn's digital realm. And Flynn's realm is now, it's not part of the internet. It is its own contained thing. And without giving too much away, I don't want to give the ending away. I don't want to give a lot of that. But by going into that realm, by meeting Flynn, which like, yes, we get Jeff Bridges. We get Jeff Bridges. By going into that realm, by meeting Flynn, he gains more. He becomes more. And the rest of the movie is for Tron is he's been given a glow up, but also he's been made human to a degree. And he has to he can manipulate both his world and act in the human world. And he then has to come back and protect this woman because Athena, she's got all the big badass toys and she's not playing. she has come to win this at all cost. And one of the things that Joe and I were discussing earlier when you came in was my feeling was that that there were certain actions Athena takes that felt spiteful. And I still hold to that, but then I look back on she is who she was created to be, who this man made her to be. She isn't it she has now, because she has now become master control. And she has basically kind of dawned on her creator. She is affecting his will, not just in their digital realm, but here in the physical realm. And she wants to get that permanence code because it means she can live. It means, and I think they kind of hint that maybe if she gets it, she's coming out and she's not going back in.
Let me know where I can speak.
What's his name would be happy with that because she is definitely the creature he made. And but the thing is, I think had things gone differently, she eventually would have turned on him. You know, and there's a lot of good action. There's a lot of good stuff. We get to see the bite. I was so happy.
Okay. Now can I?
So
my
if-
mind.
wait.
I was
Now
jumping up
can I?
and down.
Now can I fill in other parts that you missed?
Wait, hold on. So when they get the permanence code and they get where they can stay permanently in the human world, can they
Yes.
go back and forth, or is that
No.
it? Or they're stuck in their meat suit?
Okay. That again, we're not going
We're
to
not- they
ruin
don't
ruin
quite-
the end. We're not going to
Yeah.
ruin the end. But there's a lot of things that was left out that, like I said, I was waiting for my turn to kind of talk before I could fill it in for you to understand the whole Athena talk.
The whole story because
No, I'm not going to give away the story. I'm not going to give away the story, but you have to understand some of the things in the very beginning to understand the nature of the rivalry between Incom and Dillinger Systems here. It goes back to the first movie. Dillinger's father was the first CEO of Incom. And
He's
the way
the
that
one
he
that gets
became
fired.
CEO of Incom in the first movie is that he stole Kevin Flynn's video game called Space Paranoids. He fired Flynn. Flynn, opened up an arcade and he spent most of his time hacking Incom system to find the proof
Space.
to prove what it was.
And Tron was his agent.
Tron was Alan's agent, and he happened to meet up with Tron while he was in the original Incom mainframe. So that's going all the way back to the 80s. Now, the movie is fast forwarding a little bit beyond the second movie.
Yes.
The second movie, we had Kevin's son who finally takes over because everybody was trying to figure out whatever happened to Kevin.
Yeah.
In the second movie, Kevin stayed in the mainframe, stayed there for years. His son finally finds the old access to the old Incom mainframe system, which was took it offline and was taken to like a separate location and everything. He fired everything up. He sent himself into the mainframe system. He eventually finds his dad. Without ruining the second movie, let's just say he found his dad. The dad discovered something. And he was pretty much protecting that certain thing. And by the time we get to the end of the second movie, the son had a particular mission to protect said thing after we see what happened to the rest of that mainframe after all was said and done. Tron Ares fast forward, I think 20 years after
it's
that,
like
or
20 years after, like,
after that second movie,
yeah,
because now Kevin's Flynn's son is now missing.
yeah, they don't know where he's gone. He's just disappeared,
Now,
and we don't see him.
now
We don't
during
see him.
that time, in that 40-year span, we never heard, even in the second movie, we never heard about anything that what happened to the original CEO Dillinger. It turns out in this movie, their family was able to survive his disgrace, and they formed their own computer system called Dillinger Systems.
Yeah,
The father died, but his son took over as CEO. And his mother was constantly pushing him to bring back the Dillinger name to the former greatness of what it was at Incom. However, the son mentally was just not really there. He was underhanded. He was sneaky. He would do whatever. He would lie, cheat, and steal to do whatever he needed to be on top. In other words, like father, like son.
and these girls at Incom were beating him at the game. He was number 2.
It was
They
the
were number
rivalry had
1.
came back, but
Yeah,
it was
and
now
they
done
were
with
number 1.
the twins versus him.
Yeah,
So you have to understand that first part about how they went back to the original history of Tron 1 to bring it fast forward to why Dillinger's son wanted to do the thing that he did with the computer system, with Dillinger Systems here. Pretty much he recreated what his father had control of under the first movie. He made his own version of that computer system. And he trained these programs to be military based. So he had all of these military contracts ready to line up off of the one lie that he told, which
or
was
the half lie, which was, it wasn't that Ares couldn't do
he
it.
could bring them
Instead,
out
it
of the
didn't do
computer systems to bring them in the real world. Human beings would not have to fight anymore, and they were expendable.
Mm.
Now, like Elaine said, he brought out Ares during this big presentation and everything. Ares was paying attention to what everybody else was saying, but he was also paying attention to one other thing. That one other thing was the environment that he was in. He was in the real world. He never experienced anything such as a thunderstorm. So while he was listening in on what everybody else is saying, his part of his attention shifted outside, and he heard raindrops before. And he kind of walked a little bit to the edge of the door, and he actually felt rain for the first time. It was a new sensation to him. And he was like really paying attention. He was very astute. So anything that goes on around, he become, Jared Leto's character was becoming very astute and was like, instead of just being dumb and just saying, what is this? He's putting 2 and 2 together on his own. He was becoming more and more sentient. Yeah. And as he became more and more sentient, going, back and forth between the real world and their computer world, he had a number 2 in the name of Athena.
Now, Parallax, that's not true at all. People have fond memories of Tron. No one has fond memories of New Mutants.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The book or the movie? Because I never
Both.
saw. I love the New Mutants books, so I'm not going to go into that. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I don't want to give away how it ends. I'm
not giving away how it ends. I just have to give you the bigger picture of the beginning to understand why certain characters were the way that they were.
And the great part is when Athena goes after this girl, and they're bringing it's as if the city was being attacked by aliens, because this is tech that they're not prepared for. Things are happening that they have no idea. A couple of mentions this is like, but the cops the first responders and whatnot.
They had no chance.
they were just and Athena, and because he sends her and I think he sends her and two others, and I felt sorry when that police. I was just happy when that police car got sliced in half. That it sliced straight through the middle, and nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. You know, it was kind of like no police officers were hurt in the filming of this movie. But there actually was quite a bit at the city. They were tearing the city down. They were tearing that city down, and it was pretty epic. I will say when you see those things from Paranoids come in and these things are like
and people up here like everybody's looking at like, oh wow, it's just like the video game with this, that, and the other, and then
you've seen the Sears Tower, right? These things in the world are like half the height of the Sears Tower. Just floating around, and then
everybody thought it was a PR stunt.
Yeah, they thought that it was some laser projection PR stunt until stuff started blowing up and people started getting hurt. And then it was like, you know, my first thought was in Armageddon when those first few asteroids started hitting, and the guy's going, "It's bombing us." I had that feel to it because folks were like, "Wait a minute, this is not what reality is supposed to be." You know, you can see people just leaving it. But I will say, for our female protagonist, I liked her. She thinks, she feels, and she proves why she was the rightful inheritor of her position. Because Girly, as much as she is like scared and she is afraid, and her team, she has a good team of people behind her. Because as much as they're afraid, they're not that, oh my God, it's all going to come into a park. Let's hide in the chair and hope nobody finds us. She's like, no, we need to get this, and this done. And they're like, okay, we are on it. Her team, she doesn't back down, and neither do them. And
she's technically almost equivalent to a Kevin Flynn at this point.
Yeah,
a young Kevin Flynn.
She is definitely like
a young Kevin
Flynn at the time in which we see him first come into that digital world. Yes, stuff is scary. Yes, it's stuff that I'm not used to, but I've already been put in a position where if I'm not careful, these people will kill me. So I can either fall apart and let them kill me, or I can get up off my ass and fight whatever way I can. And that's the choice she makes. And because she makes that, she is definitely the general, because the guys who work for her are like, well, hell, if she's going to make that choice, then I guess we're making that choice too. So they're leading her. She's leading them, and they're following, and they're not questioning her. They're not, there's nothing misogynistic about this. It's like, okay, this is, and especially once they realize the direness of the situation, it's like, okay, you seem to have at least some idea what we're doing. So we're going to follow you until you fall apart and you're not, and I enjoyed that. She was not while it was there were definitely levels of fish out of water that you see in all these characters in the case of Ares and his crew, because this is not their world. They're used to doing things in the digital world. So when they come in the physical world, it's different. Suddenly you feel stuff. It's painful when you fall apart and have to be reconstituted.
Well, let me get back
before Joe gets back. So you said there's the human world, the digital world, and then the Tron world.
No. There's the human world and the digital world, but the digital world could be based upon each computer system that originated those programs. In this movie, you had Dillinger Systems and you had Kevin Flynn's original mainframe.
Yeah. Think of it this way.
Or I should say Incom's original mainframe system.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Because
of,
you kind of got me confused when they said that the Tron world was separate, but they were able to send somebody over there. So
because
Okay.
he has built it on a server that is not connected. It is not as connected to the web. He has locked
Okay.
a good portion of his server so that unless you actually know what you're looking for, you're not going to find it.
Okay.
And
All right.
what we're looking at is if you think of the internet as a universe, and then everybody's individual platform as worlds.
Yeah. I saw Wreck-It Ralph too.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
It's very much, and it's Disney, so
Yeah, it's going to be above board. It's not going to get too risque and everything. But getting back to the conversation about Athena, and this was the thing that I was trying that if you have to pay close attention to the movie. And again, I'm not going to give away the end, but I do have to kind of explain the relationship between Ares and Athena, because even at the very beginning, Athena was Ares. If like to go back to Star Trek terms, this was Captain. It's like Ares is Captain Pike, while Athena was number 2.
She's his first. She is his second in command.
Right. And the thing about it is their relationship is that they were almost like 2 peas in a pod. But because Ares goes out more often, she often asks him, what is it like with certain sensations, because she has never truly had to deal with sensations, to deal with people, to be in the environment at long periods of time. She would go and come back within 5 to 10 minutes. Wherever he goes out for the full time.
We see her,
and he kind of debriefs her as far as what the real world was, more so than anything. So when he started telling her about the sensations of what it's like to feel something, to have a water droplet hit you, to hear what a thunderstorm would what the thunderstorm might look like, and all this other stuff. This was new information to her, which she was up here as like, well, is this good information, or is this something that will take away from his programming? That's the way that she was originally created. But as things went along with Ares dealing with Dillinger, she began to notice how Ares started to stop telling her certain things. That's how she knew that he was lying about, we're still waiting for Dillinger to contact us back. He told us to wait before pulling the information from old girl.
Yeah.
And she was like, you sure we haven't got contacted yet? It's like, yes, he told us to wait so many cycles before for him to come back to do the final thing. And then she goes walking off, and she's thinking to herself, it's like, that seems kind of strange. It's like, why wouldn't our so-called leader just give the final order and do this, that, and the other?
But luckily,
so she started put 2 and 2 together, and it's like, oh, Ares betrayed us.
But luckily, Ares was smart enough to realize it, because he goes to the girl and says, we have less time than I thought. I got to get you up out of here. So he at least he's learned how to read the room. And that plays to his advantage in many ways, because he can read the room. He's picking up the cues. And because in many ways he is still a program, he is constantly learning and constantly making those connections.
But here was the true turning point of why you feel that she was angry and vengeful towards the end. When Dillinger finally sends her out on that mission to kill Ares and to bring her back, you have to be mindful, while they was at Incom, she finally gets there, finally finds him. Ares finally got pulled into the Incom old mainframe, just before her time was almost up, and before she goes and it was de-rest. The one thing that Aries was talking about happened to her. The sprinkler systems went off. She finally felt water for the first time. She felt how it felt, and she was like awestruck by it, like Aries was. And it's like, why is, and then in her mind, she's like, Aries had this sensation and all this time, and he wasn't lying to me about this, and Dillinger was keeping this away from us. And it drove her into like that mindset. It's like, DTA, trust no one. So when she went back and she got back into the Dillinger system, what did she do? She's like, everybody meet on this pad, we're going. Dillinger was like, what do you think you're doing? You gave me an order.
Yeah, I'm
going to make sure that your order. I'm going to make sure that your order
fulfilling my
done.
programming. I'm fulfilling
because she was at DTA. She couldn't trust anybody because technically Aries told her the truth. And like I said, she knows how Aries is. So she don't know who to trust one way or the other. So she was confused as hell. And she was angry about it. Very angry.
But like I said, she doesn't stop to ask questions though. She still is driven by
who, at that point, who are you going to truly ask? Because you don't trust no one.
You know, but she doesn't, but what I'm saying is she doesn't trust anyone, but she also is hell-bent on fulfilling her program, which her commands, which is go find this woman, get that information, kill her.
Well, that's when we finally saw her overlying purpose, her own purpose. She created her own purpose at that point.
You know, and like I
said, her own purpose was, let me get this code for not only to do his bidding, but for I could have resonance and then take over.
Yes, she wants permanence.
She wanted to take over everything. She was like, she didn't trust Dillinger anymore. And when she didn't trust Dillinger, she was like, that's it. I'm about to take this for myself and I'm going to figure it out on my own.
And it kind of had a sort of burn the whole world. Yeah, I want to become part of this world, but it also had a burn the whole world down feel to it. She was willing
to burn it down to get what she needed. That's what the whole problem.
That's what I'm saying. Was. She's still very much. She doesn't get till the end that she is just what she's programmed to be, as opposed to Aries, who has made that leap to go beyond his initial programming. In many ways, she's still in her initial programming.
Even that was the whole conversation about her not having enough time to understand.
Yeah.
She never had enough time to understand because she was put in a position where she had to make the decision right then and right there. She couldn't trust Dillinger to wait for his instructions, but yet at the same time, she was given a direct order.
She was given a directive, and that's what she was.
So she followed her programming in that aspect, but at the same time, she knew that she couldn't trust anybody because she didn't know what to think. She couldn't process it herself like Aries would have, or I should say, like Aries did.
Yeah, Aries did. Yeah, but like I said, as someone, I went to see the original Tron at the movie theater when it came out.
Me too. And I still love that. That was one of my favorite childhood movies.
I got to go to a midnight screening because I was old enough to do so with a bunch
I was yelling out a window of a car at a drive-in theater.
Okay.
Talking about go blue, go blue, go blue, go blue, go.
But yeah, Tron was great because it was one of those movies where you came out and those of us who got it were immediately, we were talking about it, trading info, coming up with ideas and stuff. It was really great. And that small number who didn't get it, just kind of stood off to the side picking, it was like a group of baboons picking, flies off each other. The rest of us were like, thinking about the possibilities and what it took to put that world together. And I like the fact that while it's a cleaned up version of that world, they didn't get too slick with it. They kept that feel of, you felt like you had gone somewhere you knew, as opposed to, oh, okay, look, they've renovated the place.
Well, that's what the problem with Legacy.
Yeah, they were
Tron Legacy
totally
had
framed.
that aspect of like, why is everything so updated? The light cycles were not the original light cycles. Everything was so manipulated and everything here.
It was Disney trying to say, look, we can out Disney. It's like, y'all did it right the first time. You ain't gotta, just make sure that, clean up the resolution and stuff so things don't pixelate. But, it's fine as it was, which it was. And you clearly got the idea of that world, the human world, and then this more updated part of the internet scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And Dylan's platform very much reflects the man who created it. It very much reflects him. And
like I said, it reflected the whole family dynasty, to be quite honest. Well,
no, because Gillian Anderson, I liked her character in the point of she realized that things had gone beyond what she felt, what she realized were the moral limit. And I think she'd also realized that
as a former CEO too. In those aspects, it's like, no, you have to worry about PR.
He stabbed her in the back and took over that company, but she was still trying to guide him, because they have that conversation where you realize he took that company from her, but she's still trying to guide him. She's still trying to give him she's trying to act as that moral center. And it's like, and I love the fact, because on the one hand, she herself is almost like a program. And it's kind of like, she's very much like Dana Scully, just a little cooler.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
In regards to her emotion, I'm talking emotional temperature.
I was thinking more like, I've been there to see where your father failed.
I have seen this story before. I know how ugly it can get. Mm-hmm. There are some links to which we should not go. And you are pushing too close for that. Because after he does his show and Tron and Ares falls apart, she's the one that comes down and says, yeah, you got him out in time so they didn't know the lie you told. And he's like, I didn't lie. She goes, you didn't tell him about this.
You didn't tell about 29 minutes.
Yes, you didn't. It's a lie, because it's a lie of omission, but it's still a lie. Mm-hmm. Because you built this thing up of, this is the ultimate soldier. It won't back down. It can't be killed. And if it is somehow something, it doesn't bleed, doesn't need to eat, does not feel, does not think anything more than it's told. And if somehow somebody actually destroys it, well, what? We'll patch in a new command and print you another one. Here comes another one just like the other one. It's no big deal. His regard, his disregard for the greater world is
how she, if without ruining what truly happened, how she passed away was also sad too.
That really got me. And it was like, okay, I see where you're trying to go. I see you've learned things as you've gotten older, and you've come to understand ruthlessness is not the way, and he is definitely his father's son. Because I think one of the reasons he had her kicked out, though they don't really address it, is she was probably looking to take the company in a different way. And the son kind of went behind her and like, hey, I can do this, this, or this, and this. And, we'll make lots of money. And they sided with him because she then has to go and say, she tells what's happened. She knows the truth, and she goes to the board and the backers. And she says, and because she comes in and says, I just had a conversation with the board. I've told them, you are done. I am coming back in charge. So you get to see that she realizes you have crossed the line. And if I don't do
that line was crossed way hours.
But what I'm saying is she realizes that he has reached a point where he is going to take everything down with him. And she is trying to preserve what little's going to be left. Because he is trying, he is not looking, he's just focused on this little thing. I just want what I want and I don't care how I get it. He's not thinking about the bigger picture, about the consequences of his action. And by the time he does, well, let's just say,
again, don't give away the ending.
Yeah, it's but the ending shows that they want to make a Tron 4.
The ending really opens up the door for history to truly repeat itself.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if I want to watch a Tron 4 just because, as you said, it's going to be, I don't see this at least moved us in a different direction. I don't see Tron 4. Tron 4 feels more like a step backwards as opposed to a step forward and a continuation. This felt like Legacy felt like, okay, we have gone off the rails. It's not a step forward, it's a step sideways into a realm that was unnecessary. This felt more like a step forward, but what they opened the door for feels a little too much like a step back. I don't know how easily they're going to, considering the way they were taking the end of the movie and what we see at the end, getting those two stories, because we ended up with two branches, hers and Aries. And we could see how those two branches could eventually come back together. But this third branch.
Well, actually, technically, it's 5. It's 5 branches. But I'm not going to get into it.
So when you say be a step backward, would it be a step back to Tron 2? Or a step
No, it'll be a step backwards as far as what had already been established.
What had already been established.
But some of the, if I had my dream wish, if I was involved in writing it, there would be a couple of things that would make the story move forward. Like, for one, they have to really ratchet up and tie the ending to Legacy to Aries.
Yeah,
there have to be a connection between Legacy and Aries, because the way that those two movies ended, it pretty much came to the same conclusion. We need to know what happened to Kevin Flynn's son. And we need to figure out how Aries is going to keep himself hidden.
Well, that and the ramifications of what happens to the kid from Dillinger.
Well, that part was simple.
We know what happened to him.
Dillinger's son is going to find out what his dad actually had access to.
But what I'm saying is the broader ramifications and how is it going to feel more like a clunky throwback, or is it going to feel like something that that ties those things, these disparate parts together and pulls them forward? I would have been happy with just having Aries and letting it go at that. You don't have to neatly, sometimes in a story, you don't have to neatly tie up every end. It kind
but
some
but
people
the end, but
sometimes
the
you
end of,
want to imagine characters going beyond the point at which the story leaves them. And because we see a lot of fandoms pop up where stories come out and people have created stories beyond what that main story was and gone and gone on to something different. Um and it varies with each fan, but this kind of it didn't feel like we were going to go forward. I don't see it going forward in a good way.
it can go for it in a good way, depending on if they do their homework. Because I still look at Tron Legacy. There was a lot of mistakes made in Tron Legacy. Like, for example, people forgot that Kevin made his own program, and his own program did what it did to the mainframe. People forgot about that. But the end of Tron Legacy is technically the same ending as Tron Ares to a different degree. One was created by Dillinger Systems. The other one was created by Kevin Flynn. What is unique about the two scenarios is that Dillinger Systems creation eventually met Kevin Flynn and learned the truth.
Yes.
The legacy ending, we don't know what ended up happening to Flynn's creation to a degree, and what it learned by coming into the real world.
And what it's a loose end.
It's a very loose end. And very big loose end.
That's what I'm saying. If you can bring those ends together in a way that makes sense, and keep that sense of fantastical wonder when worlds collide, you will have a hit. But because I have a feeling the way this movie was done is the committee wanted to do a Tron, decided they were retconning Legacy, and the smart writers and the producer said, okay, we're going to sit here and just smile and nod. Just sit there and smile and nod, smile and nod. And then when we sit down to work on that script, we're going to make something make sense. But
why make so much of a nod to Boxleitner's vision in doing so? That's my whole thing, because this has shades of what Boxleitner was going with it.
And like I said, I have a feeling the producer sat down with the writers after they were meeting, because it's never one meeting to work on a script. You're until you get that go ahead, you are meeting every week or every other week. And you are getting, if your script is this thick, and I know Disney, your notes are this thick.
Or bigger.
This is the script.
Or bigger.
That you've done. This is the notes that they're giving you every damn week. So knowing that meant the producer was sitting there going, just smile and nod, smile and nod, smile and nod. And then the minute they got out of that reading, grabbed his writers and said, look, we're going to give them, we're going to produce 2 scripts. We're going to give them a script that they want to see. And then we're going to write something a little better. And they're not going to see those pages until we put them on the screen and have it edited. And we do it in such a way where they've either got it explained to the audience why they put the kibosh on this project because they've spent X amount of dollars, or they're just going to have to let it go and hope for the best. And I think that's how they got this done. A smart producer said, and director and the writers said, okay, in the meeting, smile and nod. And then the minute they were going, they were kind of their own little version of Aries, which is how they were able to do that so well. And like I said, I am not that much of Jared Leto fan, but I did enjoy him in this. I thought
he played this role very well, and to me, he was a good version of a Dillinger System version of Tron. This would have been that system. He's literally was that system's Tron.
And I love the fish out of water elements where he's somewhere the world he knew and the world he's in are different. And then he's put in a whole nother world. And the rules of that world aren't exactly like the rules of either of these two worlds. But it's still a world he has to deal with. In the meantime, you've got humans being thrown out of what they think of reality. And it's like, oh shit. You know.
The one thing I wish they really would go ahead and retcon is the one thing that happened in Tron Legacy, and
What?
I just really wish that they would rewrite that some form or some fashion. And I don't want to ruin people who haven't watched it as of yet, but
okay.
the way that Tron died in Tron Legacy.
Okay.
I wanted them to always rewrite that one, because I like the fact that, you know, that Tron technically went on a redemption arc in that movie, but also at the same time how it took a lot of courage to do what he did, knowing that he will be dressed.
Yeah. But you know, I think it is now 8:17.
Wait. Tron died in the second Tron movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they de-resed him.
So why the hell is this one called Tron?
No, it's called Tron Ares, meaning that it's part of the Tron saga.
It's part of that saga, and this is the next chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Tron, which is the original chapter, Tron Legacy, which is the second chapter,
and the third chapter is called Tron Ares.
That's it. Think of it this way: you have Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Yes, but in Lord of the Rings, it's all about the ring, and we're still following Rudy and Elijah Wood through all three movies.
I like you. I like how you played that.
Okay.
But this, apparently, you only follow Kron through two movies.
And then they went beyond him. And like I said, they retconned the second movie.
They retconned a lot of stuff that was in the second movie, because you don't get a lot of the stuff that happened with Kevin in this from the second one. You don't get a lot of stuff with Kevin, and you don't get a lot of stuff with his son.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, his son was only a mention in this movie.
Yeah, he's only mentioned for 5.5 seconds, and then they never mention him again. Kevin Flynn is only mentioned in the first 3 minutes of the film, and then they don't talk about
they mentioned him more than just in the first 3 minutes. But it was more like, oh, you know, we saved Kevin's old stuff over here. Oh, we found it on his or Kevin's original disc that he programmed. You know, his name kept popping up throughout the movie, but it wasn't solely about him.
When Ares goes into that platform, goes into that mainframe, he doesn't meet Kevin. He meets Papa Flynn.
Okay. He meets the transcendent one. The transcendent
one. Yes, sorry.
Because remember, that system is technically dead because of what Tron had to do to Kevin's program.
But like I said, that a portion of that mainframe is still existent. You can't just
put it this way, Kevin willed parts of that mainframe system back to life. Because at the end of Legacy, he was there with a blank slate. He was like, "Oh, this is interesting." Everything else is destroyed. He's like, "This is interesting. There's enough room to, he's like looking like I could rebuild."
But what I'm saying is, it is no longer part of the reality of the internet, which is, like I said, become its own
separate thing way beyond that.
It is separate. It is separate from those two worlds. It is its own thing. And it is not the, other than electricity, and they've worked out the power system and stuff. It's self, and it's self-contained.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Nobody can get in unless you know how to get in.
Unless you know how to get in and you have the
And he does not want, and Kevin does not want to come back.
No, he sends air when he's had his time with Aries. It's like, okay, you need to go. Have fun.
Well, no, it's like, he was like, after talking to Aries and he gave him the reason why he wanted the code and everything. He asked him a couple of questions, and he's like, "You are ready."
Yeah, but what I'm saying
is, my blessing. Now go.
It wasn't like it was see you later, bye. Not let's sit down and have some tea. It was like, no, baby, you gotta go. You need what? You didn't come. You've seen. You've come. You got what you came for. Bye.
Yeah, it's like you came, you saw, you have the right idea of why I didn't. This is the reason why I only wanted specific people to even know about this code. And now, since you gave me a proper reason, here you go.
Here you go, and there you are. Bye.
Yep.
The more y'all talk about this, the more it's starting to remind me of that late 90s cartoon Reboot.
Which never ended correctly. We never got a true ending of Reboot.
Reboot never ended correctly. And I think the producer, maybe the writers, having seen Reboot, was kind of like, because we know a lot of Reboot was kind of influenced by Tron in its way. So maybe this was their way of kind of going, okay, we can give sort of a pseudo reboot ending that it deserved, as well as make a good story. Because I always feel the way Aries ended wasn't the producers, directors, or the writer's choice. I think that's when, unfortunately, the marketing team got up and said, you have to put this in.
Well, the marketing team says, like, no, you got to get the ultra happy ending like we did in Tron Legacy.
But
and just have that air of mystery about what's going to happen with Aries.
To put that in. But what I'm saying is that final scene with the kid from Dillinger, the post-credit scene.
The post-credit scene gives everybody the marketing tool to say that there's a possible 4.
But that's what I'm saying. They were like, okay, we can either let this movie out or we can shut it down and lose all this money. But we're going to let you get this movie out, but you're going to put this in.
To keep people thinking and keeping the franchise in people's minds for a possible 4.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
And that was one of the best post scenes that we needed to possibly have a 4. Will it happen? I don't think so. But I like the idea of a possible 4.
I'm not feeling the need for a possible 4. I'm not feeling the need for a possible 4. But that's just me. I was happy with this.
I was happy with 1. I was happy with 2.
I loved 1. 2, I was kind of like, I felt like you put people in and underutilized them in certain ways, but I'm saying that's just me. This, like I said, I was surprised that I liked it as well as I did. But having seen it, having enjoyed it, and I will probably through the summer watch it again because I love them scenes, but I don't feel the need for a 4. And that's just me. Someone else can watch this and go, girl, they need to make 4. Meanwhile, I don't think she's with us anymore, but we have Parallax, who has said,
but no, she's just joshing. Because she says that about stuff that some people is like they even made fun of it on The Simpsons. Yeah,
and everything on The Simpsons.
But again, it's like that's just like anybody telling her it's like, hey, nobody gives a shit about The Simpsons. It'd be like, But that's just fandom, you know. That's just fandom, you know. It just is what it is. It may not be your cup of tea, but don't stop other people from liking it.
For a fourth. If the
I
fourth
would
comes out,
appreciate it for, but I don't
watch
need it.
If the fourth comes out, I may watch it. It will depend on how I'm feeling. You know, like I said, I wanted to look at something, and it's like, well, I don't want to go back to something I've already seen. Why don't I watch something that I thought about, but then went in and see if it can surprise me? And I love the first Tron. Like I said, I went and saw it and enjoyed the hell out of it. And it's like, well, Legacy kind of left me going, but we'll see. And I went into it with no real expectations of enjoyment other than, you know, it's like, because like I said, I'm not that hot for Jared Leto. So I was pleasantly surprised, which made me happy. And it's like, okay, I'll review this, you know, I'll review this. And so there we are. But we also have Cliff, who's been sitting here calmly waiting.
Oh, I've been enjoying the talk because from the way it sounds, the two Tron movies I never saw are things that I would only be interested in watching in clip form, like I watched The Boys. I don't actually watch the whole series. I watch it in
the Cliff Notes version.
I think I do these two version.
The Cliff Notes version.
But I will be remiss before we get too far into this, since I mentioned Rudy. My oldest partner, new girlfriend, apparently collects Rudy.
She's in the Shawnee that she's
no.
Shawnee that
not
hard?
The actor, the actual movie.
Oh wow!
She has something like 30 different varying copies of Rudy on disc. And is continually adding to her collection because she thinks it's funny.
Somebody should tell Sean.
So I don't know, but I only have met the new partner officially once now. But since I found that information out, she's my favorite of all of the ones I've met.
Hug the daughter for me, because I've only met her once, but you know, tell her
that's hilarious.
But quick question before we go any further: how are the girls getting on with their assignment?
Well, it's going well, except for Penelope is Penelope, so we'll get there. But it's been such a hit in the household. I have been voluntold that the wife and I are going to do it too.
Voluntold.
Okay, there are YouTubers, and I will send you a list of YouTubers you can watch who do mermaid. If you want.
Oh no, I've already finished mine, and it's terrible. It's terrible, but it makes me happy. And my paragraph is going to be the story about my merman.
Oh, so you're going to do the whole assignment?
His name is Terrence. I'm just going to tell you that now.
Terrence the merman.
No. The assignment was it could be a male or female, young or old. So they didn't. It wasn't. They could make their mer person how they wanted. If they wanted a merman instead of a mermaid, they could do that. If they wanted an old mer person or a young mer person, they could do that. I didn't want to limit them too much because this is the first assignment and I'm trying to get an idea of where they are so I have a better idea of what to do for the next assignment.
Well, I tell you now, I can't even draw stick figures. I don't even claim I can, but you can tell what Terrence is, and that's all that matters to me.
Well, I am collecting materials. Once we get through this and I have an idea of where they are in regards to skill spectrum, I do have materials collected that I'm going to be sending on drawing figures and shading and perspective and all of that. So I have that stuff. I wanted to get a start to know what I'm dealing with. Who needs help where. And who do I just, say, okay, this is the assignment, go have fun. You and I, you want to talk about this? How do how do I help you on this? And this is how you can do better. I'm just trying to get a feel for what I'm dealing with right now. So and that's why I gave them as much time, because it's like I didn't want to sometimes when somebody out of the blue gives you an assignment and it's like you got 2 days, that freaks somebody out. And coming at the end, towards the end of the school year, suddenly you're being given an assignment. I decided, you know what, let's ease into this. Let's see how we do. And like I said, if they want to sit and talk about it, ask questions and whatnot, we'll figure out a way to make time. If I have to call, we can do video chat via Messenger. So, there are things that we can do that if we need to do that so that the girls feel comfortable. And when I'm just surprised that you guys, and I will not grade you. I will not grade you because you're not the class that I gave the assignment to, but kudos. I will give you I'll give you a star.
Well, look, like I said,
my thought process went all awry. So the lady's probably going to kill me if I told her what I thought about.
No, don't you do it. Don't you do it.
All I know is that the missus really was excited about the idea and likes us doing family stuff together sometimes.
Okay.
And she was all excited and like, I'm going to do a mermaid too. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so are you. I was like, oh.
I'm sorry. I did not realize that she just went, I'm going down that road. I'm not going by myself. You coming with me. I'm sorry.
I hate my imagination.
I'm used to it. So, but yeah, so you're going to get from everyone in the household, you're going to get an assignment. I can't promise you're going to like us afterwards, but you're going to get one. So.
This isn't about like or dislike. It is, what am I working with? And now that I know that this is something that might turn into a family thing, I will think a little differently about what assignments, because I was going to do something for the summer. When I was a kid, I used to doodle what I used to call the stickman circus when I got bored in class. And I was going to start giving the girls stickman circus assignments that they could turn in, because summer's coming. It's like, well, it's easy to get, rusty. So I'll give you my, once a week, give me a stickman circus thing, something silly, but still fun, but still works on things. And then I was also trying to think of what a good book would be. And I've got a book. I think I have a digital book. I got to see if I can send them. I have Tolkien's Rover Random, which is a really easy read, as well as Bilbo's Last Song. And I can gift you, Bill. I think, do you have Kindle?
I know we have the app.
If you've got the app, I should be able to gift you Bilbo's Last Song. And it's a very short book. It's Bilbo it's a poem Bilbo is writing about about leaving to go to the Great Havens and take off of Valinor. And the artwork in it is lovely.
I'll have to double check, because I'm pretty sure we did, but yeah, I'll have to double check. My mom, when she started to get ill, she started collecting Kindles, and we had like 5 of them in the house. So I have to look through and see what else is going on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure
you can also do it on your phone. You can do my Kindle app is on my phone, and you can do it on your desktop.
Yeah. Well, I'm mainly looking to see what accounts it all is through, because when the Kindle started multiplying, I kind of quit paying attention to the account. So
well, I will see if I can find a physical. If I can find a physical copy, then I will get it, send it to Jeff. I will get it, send it to Joe, and have him send it to you. I do moves. You can draw theories for love.
That was on my brain. I was like, she's probably going to kill me for this, but that's what you made me think with all this talk about the assignments and everything. It's like, Yeah, Auntie Moo.
Edutainment.
Wow, I was like, if this stuff works, you should package it up and say it's the patented Auntie Moo You Can Draw series.
Okay.
4 low
I know
payments,
you
$295.95.
Yeah, you forget. I know where the hell you live. Okay. So
I just trying to make you some money. That's all I'm trying to do. It's like, hey, it's working. It's like, boop. It's like, that could
Craftsy
work,
is
but she's
like
going to kill me if I tell her about it.
Craftsy is like $5 a month. So that no one.
But it ain't Auntie Moo.
It ain't Auntie Moo, but still,
That's what they're paying for. They're paying for Auntie Moo.
the Auntie Moo experience.
They're paying for the brand, not the product. So, yeah.
Anyway, I am thinking if we can sit down on the 31st. If they want, they can. Once you guys get your stuff done, go ahead and drop it to me via Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it, and then if I can either individually just send it, I can send you a PDF with the grade and how I feel about it, or I can make a call, say on the 30th or 31st, and we can talk.
Okay, we'll figure it out because I have no idea what's going on in the next week and a half, so we'll just figure it out.
Take your time. Like I said, this is why I was trying to give you for this first time. We're still filling each other out in this. This is new territory. So we have to figure out what works best for everybody. And this is giving me an idea of, like I said, I now know we can get the assignments done if we can get them quickly enough within a couple of weeks. That's good. We'll set up 2-week assignments and stuff. If they're going to be a family thing, so that you and the missus have time to do it. You don't have to do every assignment. You might find stick figure circus fun, but you may not.
Yeah, you could probably draw the stick figure Daredevil.
Anyway, but like I said, I will
see. I knew. See, I told you it would catch on. It would catch on.
But see? I don't know if Tap wants to take lessons from me.
Who said anything about if he wants to or not?
You're gonna take lessons whether you want to or not, Tat. It's official. Cliff has spoken.
Terrence came into life because I didn't have a choice, so
Okay. Anyway, like I said, talk to the family, and then like I said, if the girls have theirs done, go ahead and send. You know how to scan them in and then send me PDFs.
Yeah, I'll get them to you.
Okay.
All righty. So before I do my quick rundowns of these other number ones I read,
okay,
Joe.
Yes.
2 things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're keeping up or not, but the saga of the Spider Cousin is continuing.
Oh,
and it's looking more and more like it is going to be Peter's dad and Aunt May's kid. That is the direction it looks like it's going, but we will not know until Spider-Man 1000 comes out.
And I saw videos complaining about Spider-Man 1000 and the covers that were being done for Spider-Man 1000, especially the A cover.
I think I'll just stick with Tom Holland in the films.
And then I saw that Frank Miller is gonna write some for Spider-Man 1000. It's like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
No.
Well, which would you rather have? Would you rather have Frank write, or would you have him to draw like he's been drawing as of late?
I'd rather have somebody just go ahead and put him into old folks' home next to Grandpa Simpson and be done with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There are certain things that Miller has done amazingly well. I love 300, but there are certain things that certain people do very well, and then there are certain things that certain people shouldn't touch. Okay, that's just it. We can't all do everything the same, and we can't all do everything at certain levels of excellence. Okay, Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't think will ever make a great stripper. Okay.
I'm just like, why does he go from like, okay, yeah, but then like, what, a stripper? Okay, it's like that association is like, yeah, delete, delete.
But it's true. I just don't. I cannot see myself at a male strip club going, "Yo, baby, come here, let me stuff a dollar in there." I don't.
I don't. I'm like,
don't
it's
see
like,
me
why
doing
not go to something like, okay, maybe a bodybuilder, but a full blown stripper? I was like, okay,
No.
delete.
I want to see if he'll be able to give me the actual atomic weight of the sun while giving me a lap dance. So yes,
Ooh.
I will go. I will go.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
if it happens, I want pictures
All right. Oh,
and
and
footage.
second
Oh,
joke.
see, both of his artists on his IG page, his
Oh,
Instagram.
okay,
Okay. And second
okay.
joke.
Post your Instagram so that we can, or give it to Joe so we can share it so
Yeah.
people can come look at your stuff.
Okay, go ahead, Cliff.
All right. So the second thing,
Oh, he froze.
again, this is rumors and just stuff that I'm picking up from little news articles I see every once in a while. Have you been keeping up with what the rumors are going around about Tom King's Wonder Woman?
No.
I try not to worry about Tom King's Wonder Woman. I just read it just to read it. You notice I don't review it. Not
Right.
ever since what, issue like 12 or so. Issue 8 was the one that really just made me be like, yeah, I'm not talking about the series ever again, with the Bible thumping and all the other stuff here.
All right. So you know that the let me see if I'm behind on my Wonder Woman because I can only take Tom King doses. The matriarch is some kind of future evil big bad,
Oh man.
correct? And it's looking like, because in the upcoming issue that's either out now or about to come out, it's Trinity, Diana, and Steve Trevor traveling down the river Styx. And you find out apparently that the divergence in the timeline that allows the matriarch's future to come to be is Diana stealing Steve Trevor's essence out of Tartarus to make Trinity. So to get rid of that timeline, the rumor going around is they may have to erase Trinity. So
Goodness.
it's nothing official. This is all just based on like scuttlebutt going around, but it looks like the end of Tom King's Wonder Woman run will probably be the end of Trinity also.
Because they haven't really did anything really with her per se.
Right.
And that's the thing. She was a wasted character from the very beginning. They never developed her as an adult. They always developed Trinity as her being a kid, just like they did with Jonathan and Damien. She never had anything truly that was unique to her as an adult. Elizabeth just was there. She had her one shot in the sun in Wonder Woman 800 to set up the main story that went into Tom King's Wonder Woman, and we never truly saw that part of the story come back.
So again,
the other thing about Tom King's run, and this was the confusing thing about why I have a problem with it, they never established that Steve Trevor was still alive. They always hinted that he was dead, and Diana kept seeing him as if it was something psychologically wrong with her to try to deal with his death.
Ah, okay. Like,
well,
I have not read any of his Wonder Woman stuff. So.
He's apparently is dead based on what I've seen. So again, none of this
it's kind of obvious that it's like either he's truly dead, or they just saying that Diana's going crazy.
Okay.
So I'm not saying it's a fact, but it looks like there's a very strong possibility that to get Steve Trevor back in Tom King's run, we're going to get rid of Trinity. So if it happens, You heard it here.
We
and
don't,
if it don't,
we don't need a Steve Trevor back. That's the whole thing. We don't need a Steve Trevor.
would you rather have Steve Trevor back or have Trinity running around?
I would rather have none.
Okay.
That's just me, because Steve Trevor did his time and everything. It's time for Diana to move on, to be quite honest, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of the stuff with the I don't want to call it a monarch. I forgot what his name was, with the lasso of lies.
Patriarch.
The matriarch, huh? The patriarch. Yeah, the patriarch. The whole thing with the patriarch was just like, why? It's like, it was not a very interesting read. And then if we're supposed to take issue 800 for what it was, how in the world that he still is living for Trinity to find him?
Okay. Anyway,
To tell him tell her the story about what happened between.
If I ever get the chance to tie up Tom King and put him in a closet, you can ask him.
Well,
don't even do that, because I will never get a straight answer. Well,
we have 13 minutes of show left, technically, and he has not, and Cliff has not had a chance to give us his review.
Yep. Well, I can make these quick. It's not that. It's nothing earth-shattering or profound. So I'm trying really hard to make it through all the next level number ones that DC's putting out. Last time I did Batwoman number one, which was okay, and we're not speaking about Lobo. This time around, I have Deathstroke, the Terminator number one. That was done by. They don't put the credits where you can find them easily in comic books anymore. Who was this done by? It was done by Tony Felices and Carmine Di Giamoncino on art. This is your standard introductory number one issue. It's kind of like, hey, if you don't know who it is, this is Deathstroke the Terminator. And it's setting up, like a lot of stuff lately with Deathstroke, he's trying to prove while he's still number one as a mercenary and going through after a target. And it's told, a lot of the story is kind of yes, it did. A lot of the story is told from the standpoint of Slade Wilson writing a letter to his daughter Rose, who became the Ravager,
right?
And talking to his best friend Wintergreen, who's also like his handler. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to the end of the book, you realize that Deathstroke has been set up, and the target he was going after was just to get him into this room where his friend Wintergreen was already killed, and his corpse was in there waiting on him. And
hold on, I'm going to maximize you.
Oh, you want to maximize? Okay, yeah.
I'm maxing.
He's not showing comic book pages though, but there you go.
But and also they were able to hack into his bank accounts and take all of his money. Oh, so going forward, it's going to be about Deathstroke going out for revenge and looking for whoever killed Wintergreen, plus try to reconnect with his one child that's still alive, Rose. It's all right. I mean, I'm a Deathstroke fan, so it's worth a read. It's nothing profound. I honestly thought Wintergreen.
Rose, did they rewrite the fact that Rose now get along with Deathstroke with Slade?
No, they're back to not talking.
Because people keep forgetting about how Rose became Ravager and what Slade did to her.
My favorite part of the whole introduction of Rose as a Ravager was when she was so determined to be devoted to her dad, she pulled out her own eye and replaced it with the kryptonite eye. Mm-hmm. To prove her loyalty. So
yeah.
Ew.
That's how much she was Daddy's little girl until Daddy pretty much almost left her for dead.
Ew.
Yeah. And
Ew.
I'm apparent. I know I'm behind on my current books a little more than I should be, but I thought Wintergreen had died and come back to life like 4 or 5 times already. I didn't know he was still alive until this book. Uh, so I'm not that heartbroken about it, but I'll read the Deathstroke. I'll at least go the first story arc to see how it is.
Okay.
It's not great, but if you're if you're a Deathstroke fan or if you're a Teen Titans fan, you'll enjoy it. Even though they're still doing that thing where they can't decide what exactly the hell his powers are. So now all of a sudden he has super strength and a healing factor
What?
when I never remember that before, but okay.
No, he
Well,
was supposed to be.
I wouldn't say he has a healing factor, but he damage to him is not like damage that other people would take and be okay with.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this
But
is
he
they
does
flat
not
out
heal
say,
really fast. He just that durable.
well, in this new number one, they flat out say his, and they even call it super soldier experiments, which I got a laugh out of.
Oh
Gave
man.
him super strength and a healing factor. So I
Okay,
don't.
so
So is he
it's like
Steve Rogers or Bucky?
Yes,
yeah,
Okay.
that's a good answer. Just to say yes. We don't know. We
because
don't really know.
no offense to any Cap or Bucky fans, but Slade Wilson would dog walk Steve Rogers. I'm just saying. Um,
Okay.
but again, it's all right. It's much better than Lobo was, and I liked it a little bit better than I like Batwoman, just because I grew up reading Teen Titans, so I have a soft spot for Deathstroke. Um,
I don't have a
Zatanna number
soft
one.
spot for him because of what happened, but that's just me.
I don't
Yeah,
have a soft spot. I don't have a soft spot for him because of what he did to Rose.
yeah.
That was just too cruel to do to your own daughter.
Yes, yes. I also read Zatanna number one.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is actually kind of an interesting book from the standpoint of it was written, drawn, and the cover was all done by Jamal Campbell.
Okay, this is different
Uh,
than the one I was looking for.
so this is kind of a rarity in today's big two comics. You don't usually have a writer and artist being the same person.
Mhm.
Now this is kind of like a standard number one. Little bit of quick introduction about who Zatanna is. Apparently, she has become the prime magus of the realms of magic. So she's kind of like
Oh,
the grand poobah of all magic users.
yay,
Um,
Zach!
and she is trying to save this little girl from one of the magic realms of the elf people from some kind of plague demon who has been going around possessing and killing people. And it's explaining just who Zatanna is and how she wants to make magic wonderful again because it's become kind of like the human world, scary and unpredictable. She wants to remind people that magic is good. There's an interesting little scene where you see her talking to some of the other pillars of magic. You see Hecate, the Upside Down Man. That was I'm pretty sure that's what he was called in Justice League Dark.
Mhm.
And this bird creature that I don't recognize, but I'm gonna say he's supposed to be a representation of the Lords of Order, just from the way they drew him.
Okay.
But then at the very end, she's talking about wanting to go again. She's addicted to being a performer on stage and wants to spread the joy of magic. So as she's going along, saving everyone, she wants to continue to do the greatest stage show tour in history. And
Yay.
apparently, you find out that one of my favorite lesser talked about things in the DC universe, the DEO, is led by director Bones for you Roy Thomas fans out there.
Why does that sound so
as
much
it's
like Infinity Incorporated?
yes, because he was Mr. Bones was started off as a villain in Infinity Inc. and then became a member of it. And
Uh-huh.
after all that went away, they started the DEO, which is almost like the DC version of Shield, but not really. And he became Director Bones. So he's a skeleton man with a suit and tie smoking a cigarette all the time, which is hilarious. But there he has created an occult services branch of the DEO. And so there are these agents following Zatanna around and trying to meddle and, you know, add US politics and stuff because why not? But it's good. I enjoyed it. The artwork is really nice. There's just enough of the story to make me want to read the next one. Um, we'll see where it goes. Zatanna's always seemed like a character that is super, super popular and super loved, but there's just something about her where she does better when she's a supporting character, not a main character. So we'll see.
Well, they won't go back to do the storyline that they hinted about in what was it, Young Justice, in the cartoon series, because I would gladly pay money to see that happen. And that is for her in her more adult stage right now, in her more adult state right now, to don the helmet of Naboo and become the next Fate. Because everything is lined up for her to be it, because she was proven worthy of it. And Naboo did not want to let her go either.
Until her dad made him. Which, that is one of the saddest damn storylines in Young Justice, where once a year, Naboo lets Zatara go where he can visit his daughter. But at the end of the day, he has to put the helmet back on. That is so heartbreaking. But it was a nice touch. I'm glad they added it. But yeah, it's
they
good.
set it up where it's like, you know what? When she grows up to be an adult, she could technically be the next Fate. Everything is lined up for it, but they don't want to touch that. They don't want to touch that. I don't know why.
And now the last one, and honestly, so far,
one more.
I've read,
Okay.
my favorite.
Okay.
The Fury of Firestorm.
Okay, who's Firestorm now?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. But this one was written by one of my favorite current writers, Jeff Lemire. And the art is by Rafael de la Torre. But this one is really an interesting book. It starts off and it says at the very first panel, it says day one. And they never call him Firestorm or call him Ronnie in these first few pages. They just keep saying the nuclear man descended from the heavens. He was alone, yet he spoke as if to another person. Let's see. And he goes into this town in Bedford, Colorado. And everyone's, because that's just like a little small town, they're not used to superheroes. So they're like, oh look, it's Firestorm. And it says on the third day, the nuclear man began to experiment. He wanted to know what it would be like to live in a world of glass and chalk. So he made one. So he used his power to turn the entire town, trees, streets, buildings, cars, into glass and chalk. And it said, not everyone liked living in a world of glass. The townspeople cried out and wrung their hands, demanding the nuclear man put things back to normal. But the nuclear man did not subscribe to their idea of normal. Their lives were a mere illusion. He would teach these people the only thing truly normal was changed. So on the fourth day, the nuclear man transformed not only the world, but them as well. So he turned every living person in the town into glass and chalk.
Oh, so we getting evil Ronnie then.
And then on the sixth day, he decided any vestiges of emotion he once had were no longer of any consequence. And in freeing himself from this burden, he truly began his great work. And there's panels showing him melting people together with objects in the world around him. And on the seventh day, like in the Bible, he rested. Then we switched to honestly one of my favorite things about this book. They switched to Pittsburgh and to Miss Lorraine Riley. For those of you who don't know, from the original Firestorm series, she was Firehawk, which was an on again, off again love interest. But I always thought she had the coolest damn design. And they just never, she wasn't a character they never did anything, really did a lot with that they should have. Yeah, that's her updated design for 2000, the 2020s.
Okay.
But they won't, the U.S. military is sending her in to try and calm down Firestorm because they're convinced that it's still, they're saying Ronnie Raymond. And there's a lot of talk about how Firestorm has been different people throughout the years. He's had different powers. And they show like the Jason Rush version of him and then the Ronnie Raymond and Jason version.
What about the Ronnie Raymond and Jefferson version, the one, the unlikely duo where we find out that Ronnie does have a bit of a racist streak in him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him in this panel also. And they also have the Elemental Firestorm,
right,
where it was just Professor Stein for a while.
Right.
So, and they're going into this town, and
is Professor Stein still around?
Well, apparently, because they're saying Firehawk is saying in here, the last I heard, Ronnie threw the professor out of the Matrix, and they all went their separate ways. But so they land outside this town, and Firehawk is going to go in to see if she can calm Firestorm down. And they decide they're going to send some agents with her. And they're like, and she's like, what do you think y'all are going to go in there and do? And what do you think those suits you're wearing are going to accomplish?
Yeah,
and they say
they don't.
They said they're experimental units. They give off a tachyon aura that should make them immune to the target's matter-changing powers.
Like, guess again.
Yeah.
Guess again.
So for you old people in the room, this is where you know that these two people are red shirts from Star Trek.
Yes.
It's always good to be able to know who the red shirts are.
Yeah. And they go into the town, and this place is truly horrible. There are humans that are made out of fire and water and that are separating at the molecular level and being put back together constantly. And she makes the comment, Lorraine makes a comment that this can't be Ronnie. He would never do this. And there's a little segue where you see a double page straight out of the 1980s where it's Ronnie in his original costume talking to the professor, and he's fighting the hyena. And the hyena says, "You're not supposed to be here." And he, in typical fashion of a man who has more power than Captain Atom, fighting a giant dog man gets his ass kicked. And immediately, Ronnie ends up in this dark forest all by himself, and he's asking for the professor. And the firestorm we've been seeing throughout the book shows up and says, you no longer belong here, Ronnie Raymond, and blasts him with some kind of blast. And then basically he gets put back in Groundhog's Day. Ronnie's going through the fight with Tyne and everything again in the 1980s.
Oh, no.
So we don't know what's happening there. And of course, the two red shirts get turned into puddles immediately. And Firehawk gets thrown out of the town, and she says, "That's not Ronnie. I don't know who that is." And so now they've decided that the only thing they can do is try and find Professor Stein. And the last page of the book is some kind of cabin off in the woods, and you see a bearded Unabomber looking Professor Stein burning all of his notes, which
Oh, no.
one of the notes says the Superman Project on it. So they're tying this all back into when you find out that it wasn't an accident that Ronnie and the professor were made. It was all part of this
So
government plan to create superheroes.
so
Right.
so the so-called accident was not really a accident. That was predetermined.
Yes.
Because they
So
always want to have something they
Whatever
can
happened to
control.
Jefferson though?
I'm not sure, but that's where it ends, and it's really good. I'm definitely I'm gonna be add this to my pull list. Firestorm was always one of those characters that they wanted. DC admitted when they created him, created by the late great Jerry Conway, by the way. Um, he was going to be DC's Peter Parker. He was going to be the teenage hero that was always that had the Parker luck and all of that. But it never fit because the difference is Peter Parker works in the Marvel universe. Peter Parker doesn't work in the DC universe. But on top of that, Peter Parker is a smarmy little science nerd who gets a few superpowers. Ronnie Raymond becomes God. Period. I mean, because if you look at Firestorm, he is the most powerful human in the DC universe. He's stronger. His power is even beyond what they claim Dr. Manhattan's is.
Wow.
And they never and you that's hard to write a character like that. Especially if you're trying to write him and write him as a goofy teenager. So
Yeah.
See, that's part of the problem here because it's like, is he truly the most powerful human? Because you got other magical people other people that will magic that can beat Firestorm. They will have to go through a lot of pain, but they can beat him.
they possibly could up until when you get to the point where Ronnie and the professor understand the Matrix and are working together, and Ronnie matures.
Oh, you're done because
He's
of the
he
professor. Because of the
he's
professor and how a professor is
he's
grounded.
rewriting he's rewriting the universe every time he moves.
Mm-hmm.
So that and that's hard to write. I understand that. So I don't know, but I like Jeff Lemire. This was a really good issue number one. It it added that I don't want to say horror aspect to it because it's not a horror book at all. It's a superhero comic book. But that idea of showing you just how horrifying that type of power would be just to your average Fred and Ethel out on the street, like he does
Mm-hmm.
in the town of Colorado, is really kind of scary. And that works with it. Bringing Firehawk in is always going to be a plus to me because I always thought she was a cool character. And you want to know what's happening with Ronnie stuck in this time loop and what's going on with the professor. So I enjoyed it. I'm going to stick with that one. But yeah, plus
It
again,
brings up other
I'm a
questions
fan
for
of
me.
Firestorm from the '80s. I always thought he had a cool design, even though he had the puffy Renaissance fair sleeves and the Human Torch head. I always thought he was a cool design, cool powers. Always liked him. So this
Well,
I
I
like
have
it
I'm
because
looking forward.
I like him because he could beat Superman easily because he can make anything kryptonite.
I
Well,
had good
that
ones.
and when he goes when you go beyond that and he gets even better understanding his powers, he can make Superman kryptonite.
Yeah.
So
He can he can
Okay.
really turn Superman into
Uh,
kryptonite.
okay.
A kryptonite
yeah.
Superman is like
Now
or even worse, or even worse. If I remember correctly, he could manipulate anything on the body and just be like, okay, fine, I'm just going to I'm going to make your skin only accept the red rays of the sun.
mhm.
Essentially, it's like, yeah, you're on a planet with a yellow sun, but to you, it's red.
Yeah.
Good
So
idea.
I'm looking for the only other. There are a few more number ones coming out, but the only other one that I'm really looking forward to, um, is the Barbara Gordon that's about to come out. where she's in prison.
Oh.
So that one I think might be pretty good. So we'll have to see. But so far, Firestorm, buy Firestorm, buy Zatanna. If you want to wait on the trade for Batwoman and Deathstroke, go for it. It's okay. Stay away from Lobo.
Got it.
That's where we're at right now. But yeah,
Any-
I think a lot of people, if they try it, will really enjoy Firestorm.
See, now it makes
And
me
with a
think
lot,
that it's this entity, their version of the Black Flash. That's what it makes me think now. This issue number 1 makes me think, is this entity really their version of Black Flash?
I can see that. Again, we're gonna have to see. But it's definitely worth the read. Now I'm not reading like most of the books that aren't getting to number 1 are getting a next level issue. Like Titans has got a new creative team and it's going to be the new Titans, so it's going to get issue 33 is like the new jumping on point. I'm not doing those because, and I don't care what they're going to do. The new Titans book next year or the year after that is going to go back to the original Titans members again, because anytime they ever try to make a different Titans team, it never works. So it's there. I'm going to read it. I'll probably like it because it's got Jonathan Kent in it, but it's not as reviewable as like these number 1s are. So if you're looking for any of that, talk to Joe.
I
No,
have
that's if I delve into it. Just to let you know, I almost finished completing volume 3 of The Outsiders, the only series, only volume of The Outsiders I would ever collect, because it's sans Batman.
got
Is volume 3 the one that Nightwing's leading the team? Yeah, that's a good series.
Ooh,
That's a good
okay.
series. I liked a lot of the plot twists they threw in on that one. People who
So
haven't
I
read it.
finally got the final issue, and Batman finally shows up. And I was like, yeah, now the series is ruined. Oh, that's the last issue. Good. I'm happy.
Okay.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, it was when Batman and the Outsiders started, that Batman and the Outsiders, New Teen Titans, and Legion of Superheroes were like the top 3 selling books in DC in the 80s. And this is why it was such a departure from the Batman we have today. When they had the Teen Titans and Outsiders crossover, couple issues, it was specifically stated Dick Grayson is the leader of this combined team because he's the one who's a better leader.
Mm-hmm.
And Batman even admitted, you're a better leader. You understand your teammates more, and people like you more. And that is such a departure from the Batman we have now, where nobody can do what he does and nobody's a better leader, blah 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 blah. It was so nice to read that. And like today you don't have that. It's like, I don't
Well,
like Batman. So
well, I
No.
quickly,
Okay.
found hardcover copy of Bilbo's Last Song.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
It's on its way to me, and once I get it, it'll be on its way to Joe, and then it'll get it on its way to you.
Awesome.
And of course, as with everything, look at it first before you show it to let you and the missus look it over and decide if that's something you think the girls would like.
I always like the fact that I'm in a group full of people that don't mind passing it around.
Yeah, that's fine.
And she's still
It'll
scoffs.
be for the girls, so
And
that's great.
And she
But
still scoffs at the idea of the $295.95 for
Yeah.
Auntie's Moo You Can Draw series.
I am falling asleep and I have not eaten anything today.
Great.
And at 9 a.m. tomorrow, I gotta be at Weston and Foster.
Okay, so you
I
gotta
got to
go.
go from my house to Weston Foster by 9 a.m. tomorrow.
That's a trek.
Yeah, that's a
What about
trek.
I like the idea better of it. It would be anti-moo can draw and you can too series.
We the title could be worked out. That we could work
Yeah.
out the series title. But the thing about it is, like, I'm holding the line at 295.95 because if we go like 495.95, people would complain.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right. That's
Great. That's good to know. Yeah, I did when GoDaddy told me I could set up a merch site that would be $200 more than what I'm currently paying for my regular site. I won't repeat what I said because we even with the TVMA DLSV we can't do
We
that.
don't have to. We don't have 8-second delay. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, "Where's that button?"
So
I,
yeah, but
I'll be playing drums on that button and be like,
like I said, I've got dishes to do. We have one mouse left. You know, we found one of the mice got shredded in the living room fan. Poor Courtney found him. Got caught in a fan. You know, took a little cleaning to we scooped him out, and then I had to disinfect the fan of mouse guts and stuff. But
Speaking of guts, before we go, my wife's best friend called her today and said, I have to tell you this. And it's like, okay. She watches her niece's children sometimes.
okay,
And Micah's friend doesn't have any kids, so she's like learning how to be a mom at almost 50. And she goes, my niece's brother, I guess her nephew, has been missing his lizard for the past couple of days,
oh no,
and no one knew where it was. And the little girl that Micah's friend watches is named Evelyn. She's like 2. She's still in diapers.
oh no.
They were
I,
changing Evelyn's diaper. Evelyn ate the damn lizard.
I gotta chicken. I'm sorry. Oh no.
So
Okay.
yeah,
2-year-old was like, "How big was the lizard, by the way?"
I have no idea. Apparently, it wasn't like
It could
an
have been
iguana,
too big and
but
like
it was.
2-year-old overpowered.
However, it's like, couldn't it be like one of those like small salamander like lizards?
So
And you were like,
apparently,
"Oh, there we go."
when little Evie was getting her britches changed, the
There were
missing
lizard
lizard
bits.
was winking at people. So, yeah.
Okay, I am done. I am done. I gotta
How many
now I have
how many kids of that
I'm
age can
gonna
say
have to
that they
explain
poop
that
out
to
a
Courtney.
lizard? I'm just like,
Oh my goodness.
if a lizard passed through them, what the hell?
Oh my god. I mean, okay, she scares
I
me.
mean, I was like, at that point, it's like there's no need for a funeral. You just bury the diaper, just throw the diaper.
But the thing is, I'm thinking now, you gotta start as she gets bigger. Neighborhood pets. It's just it's gonna get interesting.
Yeah.
People are gonna start looking for their dogs.
Well, the niece is a big Resident Evil fan, and actually named the little girl after Evelyn from Resident Evil 7.
Oh,
Oh, that's what you get.
yeah. It's like, oh my goodness.
She
Lock
ate
up
a
your
lizard. Wow.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Okay, can
And
I
they
just
never would have found the lizard until she passed it. That's just messed up.
And if she was potty trained, they would have never found it.
yeah, because she'd have just been able to like dump it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out because, like I said, oh my goodness. Okay.
It's like I'm sorry. It's like that's kind of going to be like you're going to be thinking about that, trying to go
Oh
to
yeah.
sleep. It's like
Oh
how do you
yeah.
do this?
I will be on the bus tomorrow.
Thinking about
Trying to,
pooping a lizard.
thinking about pooping out lizard bits. I'm just like, oh my goodness. What can I say? You never know what's gonna happen on this show. You know, we're old and crazy. But thank you for, tuning in with us for another Thursday evening's worth of okay. I hope you, whether you watch us live or you come back and see this show later. If you do, you might want to take it in small bits because, oh boy, anyway, I'm Elaine. Let's caponline.com. Find my ass, send me, don't talk to me about lizard bits though, because it's, oh God. Okay, y'all take care. I'll talk to you later. I'm out. I'm out.
You broke her. You broke her.
Thank you for joining us. Act now and buy Auntie Moo's You Can Draw series for the low introductory price of 4 installments of $295.95. And if you act now, you'll get to join us for our summer program, which is where you learn to draw lizard anatomy. That's Auntie Moo's You Can Draw series. Thank you. Come again.
And that brings us to our real sponsor for Comic Book Spectrum, Jeffrey Hayes at Platform Fire Graphics. If you got that brand new novel, graphic novel, or comic book that you need a great cover for, that will bring people to your table to ask you, ooh, tell me about your story, then Jeffrey Hayes is who you need. You want an award-winning artist who have won several Pulp Factory awards on your cover. If you don't believe me, then take a gander at this video.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
You've seen those covers? You can have something exactly like that on your novel, graphic novel, or comic book. Just reach out to Jeffrey Hayes at plasmafiregraphics.com or his Facebook group for Plasma Fire Graphics. As far as I'm concerned, I will be back here on Saturday with another episode of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. We got new comic book pickups of the week. As far as what we're going to talk about, I don't know. However, hopefully by then I will have more information as far as the YouTube channel and everything, where you can catch me on this upcoming Tuesday on the Heroes for Hire broadcast, where I'm going to get interviewed. It's been a long time since I've been interviewed, but hopefully, if everything goes well, I probably won't be the one that's being interviewed. The person who hosts Heroes for Hire might be on the receiving end of it, but we never know. But until Saturday or until next Thursday, when you see us here, live life, grow, and be well. And unlike our founder, Brian K. Morris, I don't care if you wash your hands, but never, and I do mean never, apologize for being awesome. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we are out of here until next week. See you later. Goodbye.